Hey guys, yesterday we learned how to solve and graph inequalities. Today I wanted to show you one exception to the rule. When we are solving inequalities and we multiply or divide by a negative number, we're going to have to flip the inequality symbol around. This is very important that we do it because on test questions, they're going to have both options there, whether you flip it or don't flip the inequality symbol, and so we need to know which one's correct. So let's look at this first one. I'm going to draw my line at the inequality symbol, and remember we either add or subtract first most of the time, and then multiply or divide second. So I see this plus 1.2, and the opposite of plus 1.2 would be minus 1.2. So we're going to do that on both sides. These cancel out to 0. And then 25.2 minus 1.2 would be 24. Now I'm bringing the inequality symbol down, and then we have negative 1.5y. Now this negative 1.5 is right next to the y. That means multiply. So the opposite of multiply will be to divide by 1.5 on both sides. Negative 1.5. These cancel out. Negative 1.5 divided by negative 1.5 cancels to 1. Now right here is where we are dividing by negative. Because this happens, we need to flip the inequality symbol around. And then y is still on this side. I just brought it down. And then let's do 24 divided by negative 1.5. Can't have a decimal out in front, so let's move that over once, but we must keep it the same, so we have to move the decimal over inside as well. 15 goes into 24 once, subtract 15, and that equals 9. Bring a 0 down. 15 goes into 96 times. 15 times 6 is 90 exactly. And then a negative or a positive divided by a negative, the signs are different, so our answer is negative. Now, I always like to have the letter go first. Sometimes it's hard to understand what negative 16 is greater than or equal to y means. So I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to have the y be in the front, and then the negative 16 on the right side. Now the alligator is eating the negative 16, so the alligator will continue to eat the negative 16. So y is less than or equal to negative 16. That could be negative 17, negative 20, negative 100, negative 30,248. Any of these numbers, as long as you're getting farther and farther negative, could be correct. It could also be negative 16, as long as that line underneath the inequality symbol is there. It can be equal to as well. Alright, let's try the next one. 10 plus h over negative 9 is greater than or equal to 12. Add or subtract first. Well, I see this positive 10 out in front, so let's subtract 10 on both sides. 10 minus 10 cancels out to 0. 12 minus 10 is 2, bringing down the symbol, and then we have h over negative 9. Well, when we have a fraction, that means divide, so the opposite of division is multiplication, so we're going to multiply by negative 9 on both sides. Now, since we're doing the opposite here, those cancel out to 1. And then right here, I'm noticing where we are multiplying by a negative number. I'm going to highlight that so it stands out. We are multiplying by a negative here. So since that is happening, our inequality symbol needs to flip around, and then h is still going to be on the left side, and then 2 times negative 9. Since the signs are different, positive and negative, we are going to have a negative answer of 18. H is less than negative 18. Numbers less than negative 18 would be negative 24, negative 32, and going farther and farther negative. It can't be negative 18 because it's not also equal to. Alright, let's look at one more. I just wanted to incorporate a word problem and practice writing an inequality one more time. So at a gas station in Alaska, gasoline sells for $4 a gallon and a car wash costs $12. Harika wants to have her car washed and keep the total purchase under $60. Write an inequality to find G, the number of gallons of gas she can buy. And then we'll come to this last part later. So we need to know the total. We need to know what number might be repeating. We need to know what number might be happening once. Total sells for $4 a gallon. That doesn't sound like the total. The car wash is $12. She wants to keep her purchase under $60. That sounds like the total money. Repeating over and over. Well, it looks like the unknown might be gallons of gas to find G, the number of gallons of gas, and we see that it's $4 a gallon. That could also be written as $4 per gallon or for each gallon. So these gallons of gas, that's going to be the number that's repeating, $4. And then the number that happens once will be 12 because she's just going to do one car wash. She's not going to do multiple car washes right now. So we are going to have the total on one side, inequality symbol, and then what she spends on the other side. The total is 60. I'm going to leave the inequality blank for just a minute. The number that's repeating is 4, and it needs to go with G, the number of gallons, 4 per gallon, plus that $12 car wash. Now, what she spends needs to be under $60. So what she spends cannot be greater than $60. So the alligator does not eat the spending. It needs to eat the total. Spending needs to be less than the total. So now that we have our inequality symbol facing the correct way, let's solve for G and figure out how many gallons of gas she could purchase. Now the rest of this says determine which, if any, of these values is a solution. So we're going to have to figure out, could she buy 10 gallons, 11 gallons, or 12 gallons? So let's start solving. I see a plus 12. Let's subtract 12 on both sides. That cancels out to 0. 60 minus 12 would be 48. Bringing the inequality symbol down in the 4G. 4G, that means multiply. So the opposite of multiply is divide. We're dividing by a positive 4, so the symbol can stay facing the correct direction. And then G is just going to be written down because 4 divided by 4 is 1, and so the G is left alone. And then 48 divided by 4, 4 goes into 4 once, subtracting 4, bringing down the 8. 4 goes into 8 2 times, and we are done. 12 is greater than G. Let's flip that around so it makes more sense for us. G and then 12 switch places, which means the symbol needs to continue eating the 12. So G, gallons of gas, must be less than 12. Gallons of gas is less than 12. Let's look at our answer choices. G could be 10. Well, I agree, 10 is less than 12. G could be 11. 11 is less than 12. G could be 12. Now I don't see a line underneath the symbol, so it can't be equal to. So only numbers less than 12, that does not include 12 itself. Okay guys, we practiced solving inequalities again today. We learned a new rule. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must flip the symbol around. Please, please, please do not forget that. Thanks for watching.